Right, so we've got the plate back in the back end of the head, and that there is a sensor sticking out. We have got the adapter and another sensor that actually will fit straight into the original plate, so we can swap that over as and when. But obviously if that works, it's going to allow us to test whether or not what I found on the front brake was the problem for it overheating or not. So that's all done for now. So now we're putting this thing back on the front end. Now I've just, if I open this door somehow, I've just got the pedals fed back through like so. So now I'm going to go underneath, get the rod hopefully back in place. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on the rod as well, so that when the pedals go on there's absolutely nothing, just straight contact with metal. There's always going to be some form of grease in there. So let's get to it. So this is our pedal rod. It's going to bolt up to the chassis like so. Put a bit of grease inside each pedal, so we know that even before we actually put the grease nipple on and greased it through properly, we're going to have grease where we need it. So let's get to it. I'm going to use brand new fresh nuts and bolts because I've got a whole pot of them over there. So you know, it should be nice and easy to put back on. There's no rusty threads to contend with, anything like that. So put it on all nice and fresh, and theoretically, fingers crossed, it should all work absolutely swimmingly well. Just committed a laughable offence. I was about to put that on, and then I realised that the spacers and the washers that go on the shaft around the pedals are still in the bucket soaking because I haven't actually cleaned them and I've completely forgotten about them. So let's do that first. So this is our little array of nuts, bolts, washers. We've got all the array of washers and spacer on the shaft itself. This little gadget here goes on the nut that it goes on the pin that attaches the cable to the pedal for the throttle, and that the return spring actually goes in that little hole there. Then got a washer that goes on that far end of the shaft with an E-clip. Originally it has like a great big like wire clip, but that broke, so that was the best alternative I could get hold of. That little washer there goes there to hold that all in place. Then we've got basically a washer between the pedals, or either side of the pedal basically, and then one either side of this tube. And then we've got these are the ones that hold on the bracket itself in those two M8 holes there. Now originally this just had like friction washers by the nuts, but I want to make sure I'm definitely happy with how it goes back on, so I've put on what I would consider, I'm going to put on, shall I say, what I consider to be adequate and appropriate, considering the fact this is a pedal shaft and you do not want that coming loose. Right, this time we're even going to try and put it on nicely with nuts, bolts and washers. So of course goes up like that, mounts up to there, master cylinder goes in that top section. Then we have the brake pedal in the middle there on that middle hole, the tube with the washers either side, and then we have the accelerator pedal on this far end, and obviously we have the clutch on that end. I'm not entirely sure what order it's all going to go on there, but hopefully it's all going to go on there and work. And behold, being a little bit stubborn, but I got it back on. Whew, I'm out of breath now, can you tell? So now all we've got to do is put bolts back in the master cylinder, bolt it back onto this lengthways cross member, and then we can get all the cables reattached. Happy days. These bolts have been an absolute pain in the arse, to say the very least, because they're in such difficult access places. It's like trying to feed something with your fingertips, and it's a pain because every time I try and get it in the back hole there, I just end up dropping it in the framework. So this one's going to be a bit of an interesting one because it's starting to really make my shoulders hurt, and that makes some subflux, which means that yeah, it makes it incredibly painful to be trying to actually do it. Last, we have got it bolted back on. Master cylinder's all bolted on as well, as you can probably see. And now I'm going to do this nut up, and you can slowly but surely watch the whole thing pull over and everything tighten itself up a bit. Quite cool, so here. That's it. Right, a little bit of movement there. Might have to see actually if I know it was all gunked up in quite a fair bit of mud before, so that is apparently as tight as it's going to go. So, well, that's it all done for now, so that will allow us to test drive it. So this here is the pedal rod that operates the brake master cylinder, and basically depending on what master cylinder you've got, the original one for this car, this was actually a little bit shorter adjusted, but for this master cylinder, which is an 8 Gordini one, because it's the cheapest one you can buy, I had to adjust it to basically the furthest I felt comfortable adjusting it to, ensuring you had enough thread inside here still to mean that you're not going to end up with it coming apart, because obviously if you do that you've got no bloody brakes at all. So yeah, it's adjusted as per before, and basically with the brake pedal in the full return position you should have about 1mm play, which just basically means that it's not putting pressure on the brake system the entire time, which you always see it activate them and cause drag at the wheels. So yeah, put it back on and one step closer. Right, so we've at long last we've got it all back together. I've also threaded this wire through, which is for the temperature gauge, but the brake pedal is now responding as it should do. I might actually put even a slightly stronger return spring, so we know for certain it's definitely got a good spring back. I bought a set of springs last week, so I can always do that if needs be. But yeah, we've got that cable going through here as well, so that's another job ticked off the list. I might as well do it while I'm underneath the car. So that's coming out of that end, as you can see, all the way through the tinware, and it goes into where the speedo cable goes through the floor. As you can see, the pedal rod is all nice and clean, and all new nuts and bolts as well, because it just made sense. Make it all nice and fresh. The only thing I've got to do now is stick the grease gun there and blow the hell out of it. Yeah, so that's the grease gun. As you can see, you've had grease coming out of all the little places it should be. So yeah, happy days.